Storm Claudia is the big talking point this week because it's going to bring a shed load of rain and gusty winds to Cheltenham, who've gone so long without any of the wet stuff, and now it's all coming at once. Joel and Frankie alongside me. I tell you what, Joel, there's going to be no issues like that where Frankie is this weekend.
No, I presume it's somewhere really, really nice. Venetia is trying to enter Royal Pagaille into every race this weekend, supplementing the horse. And Frankie is in Bahrain, where he said, a little cloudy.
A little cloudy. Yeah, it was a little cloudy. I make no apologies for saying we'll probably like the ground or go on the ground, because that is the story this weekend. You've almost got to do two looks at the card, haven't you? Have a look through it and then have a second look through and just make sure that whatever you fancy will be able to deal with testing conditions. It's not going to be very nice, is it, over the weekend? But hey, there's some soft ground horses that love it.
There certainly is. One thing you need to check is obviously check the card. There'll be plenty of non-runners, I would imagine. But again, it's been well documented. We said we're going to get 20 mil. It looks like it's going to be over 30 mil as we're recording this. So God knows is the answer in the lap of the gods. But do check the cards to see if your horse is actually running. And obviously, like you say, go back in the form, check the study, see if these horses do go with dig in the ground, because it is going to be pretty attritional when the action comes around on Saturday. Let's get stuck in then. We've got an Arkle trial here at 145. We've got a champion hurdle runner-up. We've got an interesting one coming over from Ireland. We've got a Skelton runner as well, who won the race with Load of Sud. And one coming over from France. We've got a bit of everything in the opener, Joel.
Yeah, a lot of people will say July Flower will go off odds on. It's now odds against time of recording, Thursday, late afternoon. And a lot of negatives coming through for Burdett Road. Now, I've dug into this. I think even the trainer had a little pop saying, I wouldn't want to be on this horse round there. I think it's a half sister to Rip Van Winkle, this horse. I was trying to do some research into. You are
trying to do some research. You're supposed to be doing research. That's what it's all about.
I was trying to do something because everybody was going, he plows through hurdles. Has no respect for them. First start over fences. It's going to be awful, isn't it? Officially, £4 better off than July Flower here. And if you have a look at it, it's 1 length second to Rubo, who pulled it out the fire at 8-1 on at the weekend, or whatever that was. I would go Burdett Road here. It's drifted all week. I think it was 9-4 second favourite. I think you're talking 6-1 or somewhere around that. I know you get 2 places. But I think I'd take a chance on Burdett Road, but I could quite easily see July Flower being smashed and winning. But again, we have got 30 mil of rain coming, as you said.
The dam is a sister to Rip Van Winkle. That's where it lies. But it is flatbred, completely not flatbred. Joel? Frankie, sorry.
Yeah, but that Road's the wild card in here, isn't he? A speedy hurdler type that goes well on better ground and is a bit of a dual purpose horse, having a crack on what will be really soft ground over fences. You're probably right. Best of luck to Sammy Twiston. I couldn't back him. It doesn't mean to say he can't win, because he's a talented horse, but you'd probably want to see him take to his fences before you have your cash on. I think that July Flower will take all the stopping. She gets a bit of weight from most of the field. She hasn't actually been with Henry de Bromhead that long. She came over from France. I think this will only be her 5th start for him. A couple of those over hurdles, one of which was at the Cheltenham Festival, where, she's down as being 13 lengths, I don't know, 4th, 5th, something like that. But Lossiemouth took 7 lengths out of the field. So she wasn't miles off those with a bit more racing experience than her. And she took to her fences really well at Limerick on her first start over bigger obstacles. So I think there's a lot to come from her. She was actually my very first anti-post punt. Not that paid out. As I've just mentioned, she came 6th on our Road to Cheltenham show last year. I think she's got a lot of talent, and hopefully she'll show it this season.
Okay, unanimous and for July Flower in the Arkle trial. Then we've got the big one. It is the Paddy Power Gold Cup, 15 set to go. I imagine there'll be a few nons with all the deluge that is coming. Obviously, Jaguar at the top of the handicap. We heard from John O'Neill Jr. That's available on our Betfred YouTube channel, of course, when we spoke to him last week about all his runners and what he's looking forward to this week. He says he's bigger, he's stronger. I think that'll help him carry them. I don't think it's a deep renewal. I don't think it's the classiest renewal we've had of this race in recent years. Got Ilvadoto, get the lowdown for Frankie on that short. He's going for a back-to-back wins in the race. Not been done since Bradbury start in the early 90s. The Skeltons are represented. Plenty coming over from Ireland. Bromhead got a few in there as well, Frankie. But obviously, Jaguar the one to start with. He needs to probably win this if they're thinking of going on to better things, maybe graded company this season.
Yeah, and this race probably didn't take long for them to think about coming here after he won at the festival. He's a dual Cheltenham winner, and there's only so many handicaps you can win before going on to graded company, like you said. Maybe the testing conditions whilst carrying 12 stone is a little bit of a negative. He probably wouldn't want it absolutely bottomless. But yeah, he obviously does set the standard, and who knows where the ceiling is. It's definitely higher than 148. And I think you're right, it's not a vintage renewal. Like Iridoto being in here and having a squeak kind of says that. He's always there or thereabouts. And the fact that nothing could obviously beat him means we're not looking at the best field. I did actually speak to Jeb Mason about his Cheltenham runners, and he wasn't over enthusiastic about Iridoto. He kind of said he'll take his chance like he always does. It was Protectorat that he mentioned out of his, I think he might have 4 or 5 this weekend, that got him most excited. So, yeah, usual sort of business for Iridoto. I like one at a bit of a price in here, Conyers Hill. You get a double figure price definitely in each way. But anyway, he ran in the Grand Annual at the festival. He was 6th, which is obviously over 2 miles. It's a lot quicker. He was probably racing 1 from last nearly all the way round. And although he only came 6th, he made up some ground. And I think they probably rode him like that because he maybe wasn't, or they were wondering, was he quite quick enough for the Grand Annual? So ride him for a bit of luck, go at his own pace, and then try and pick up the pieces. He couldn't pick up the pieces, but he did go past at least half the field. And since then, he's finished 2nd twice, once on soft, heavy ground, the other over 2 miles and 3 furlongs. So I think this intermediate trip might be better suited to him. Bit of Cheltenham form, bit of soft ground form. There's quite a lot to like about him.
Okay, and the Irish got plenty of history in this one, Joel.
Yeah, they have, but this is definitely 100% staying in Britain. Vincenzo has been quietly backed all week for Saturday Sam Thompson. Thomas. Why is it you always laugh every time I mention Sam Thomas and these colours? I backed it last run, I think it was start of March, and it was beaten by Booster Bob. Guess who was on board that day at 16-1? Sean Bowen. And this is before he was the next coming of AP McCoy. Horse does jump left a little bit. Unexposed, progressive. Sam's been open and saying a lot of the horses are just ready to run. I wish it was today, sort of thing. I have no problem with the ground whatsoever. And also, I do agree with Frankie as well. I think if you're going for your play spot this weekend, or you are going for an each way bet, the one that you put up was fantastic. Now, I know also Jaguar. I haven't watched the John Joe O'Neill bit yet on YouTube, but I will be doing it straight after I finish this today. Is Jaguar a Grand National horse in the making, do you think?
No, I think they think he's a little bit more. He did say he's kind of on a similar footing to Irico. Irico is probably a little bit more streetwise at this stage. He's still a bit more raw, Jaguar, but he did say he's just so, since he's come back from his summer, went to Martinstown for the summer to JP. Since he's come back, he said he was astounded by how bigger and stronger he is. And so they think he's going to get further. They're probably looking more at graded types of him. Irico is certainly on the radar for the Grand National. I think he's going to run at A-Dot next week. And obviously Johnny Who looks like he may go that route as well for the connect for JP, judging by last week. Well, I think this fella, I think if he was to win this, I think they would be thinking maybe something like the Rhino. They're not going to step up to 3 miles. They have said. He said he will get 3 miles, but they're not going to step him up just yet. So maybe looking towards next year for the big one. But imagine that they are thinking of something towards the Rhino in the spring.
All right, no, cool. I don't need to watch it anymore. Your name told me that. And a little nugget for you on Iridoto. It's never won carrying over 10 stone 12. And let's be honest, Iridoto is not Denman with that weight carrier performance.
The tank. No, he is not. He's only pound higher than last year, but I agree. I just don't think it's a deep renewal. And I think the class may will out at the top, fingers crossed. Anyway, right, let's move on to the 255. I'm going to start with Frankie this time, because I know you were all over Marchand 2-3 weeks ago. 5 of these that renew here, that renew Ravis, were in behind that day, including the 3rd Supreme West, the 4th Long Draw, and the 6th Prince Zolta. Is that form the key to this race?
I think so, Matt. Yeah, you stole my line. I would have it between Supremely West and Long Draw, but for me, the fact that it was Supremely West's first start for the Skeltons and the way that he raced, I'd say there's a lot more to come from him. And if you go back through his form, the last time he won was on heavy ground at Haydock. So if the forecast is correct, then conditions should bring out even more in him. Harry Skelton had to be fairly strong with him up the home straight and give him a lot of encouragement, which I don't mind in these 3 milers, in these staying types, if they race a bit lazy and they do need to be asked to go and get after it, and then they sort of finally pick up. I actually sometimes see that as a positive. It means they're tough. And look, he only had the first start for the Skeltons, so you'd expect him to improve. They're probably sort of gauging him, and no better place to gauge him than in a Potemps qualifier, and he placed as well. So I reckon everything's gone perfectly in their eyes, and I'd say he'd be really hard to stop here. I'm fairly strong on Supremely West.
Cool. Yeah, he's qualified for the potential. You want to go up a bit more, Joel?
Yeah, I would have thought so, but Supremely West, I would have been all over Supremely West. But on Wednesday at Bangor, Dan Skelton had more horses pulled up than he's had Chinese buffets this week. So it might have just been the ground that day or whatever, but they could start strong. A horse in here that I've always liked, and I know he's been called a few names, is Gal Road. And around 10-9 to 1, something like that. Did too much from the front of the October meeting. Has been dropped £2 for that. I genuinely think that was the idea. Been dropped 2 for that. You'll get a run for your money. And I really couldn't see this horse being out of 3. And the excellent Sammy Twiston on board would be really going for it. I thought Supremely West would have been a really, really, really big bet if the Skelton horses would have not all been pulled up bang on Wednesday.
Yeah, as I had 4 in the last race, and 3 of them were pulled up. When there's a few go well this week as well. We move on to the 3:30 then, just over 2.5 mile. This is a really interesting race. We had a Friendship win here recently at Cheltenham, Royal Infantry, a good third at Chepstow. But it's the return of Durancon, which is intriguing, Joel.
Yeah, and it'd be really nice for David Pipe to have a really good horse this year. And it's one of those horses that you just look at, form figures wherever they're from, and you see the 1s and the 2s, and you think this is really good. Again, it's been nicely backed. Start of the week is now into around 11-4, 7-2, somewhere around that mark. And I'd quite like to ask you here a question, both of you, because I would always look at Saturday Sam.
That's
Thomas.
Yeah.
Saturday Sam Thomas horse and C'est Différent. What would you look at? I mean, it's a couple of mild handicaps, won last time, but you're looking around 16 to 1 here. Is there anything there that, and I don't know nothing about this, would anything there that you would go, ooh, hello?
Besides the fact that it's Sam Thomas, Dylan Johnston, and a nice handicap hurdle, because they seem to do really well in them. I did have a quick look. I just wonder if might be a bit tough over 2 mile 5 and on tough conditions perhaps, but yeah, they seem to bang in. He seems to do a great job with these young hurdlers, doesn't he, in these handicaps? Seems to place them well.
Yeah, last time I heard it, this horse
being a Saturday and being a Sam Thomas, those colours, not really.
Yeah, the last thing I heard about this horse was going for the lads amateurs race at the start of the card. Didn't get into that, but has won the last 2 in soft ground. The only thing about the Fav is steps up in trip. It has been running over 2 miles in every race, apart from obviously the early point to points, where he won one of those over 3 miles. It has been smashed in the betting. It is a good horse, and I thought I was strong in it. I didn't think it'd be short as that, and then just to have a little bit each way, because I think Sam's got this thing. Whereas if a horse is ready to go, it doesn't matter where it's entered or what it's in. If they're ready and they're fizzing and they're ready to go, let's have a go. So yeah, I go with a Fav, but I definitely have a little bit. If you got in Hans Place terms somewhere, C'est Différent in there. Or
they've done well with the favourite, haven't they? Or the handicap been fair to them. I mean, backed off the boards and has won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Has won the last 2 going off favourite. Was beaten at 2 to 5 fair, and has only creeped up £5. I mean, 1, 2 off the same mark. They're having a right time with things with the handicapper.
Yeah, but I'm thinking it's just the same as me. You're a massive fan of Martin Pike back in the day, and David's not really had the rub of the green and lost a few horses and what have you. And they've gone, he deserves a good horse. And I hope he gets one this year, a really good horse. That's how it works.
You agreeing, Frankie?
I quite like Catboy. Would be my shout. Interesting move from Paul Nicholls to Ollie Murphy's, but he won first time out for Ollie Murphy on soft ground under Super Sean Bowen. And if you go back through to his early form, which, okay, they've had enough racing to know what they are now, but given the trainer switch, I'd like to have a look at what sort of raw animal they might be, running to 110s in his bumpers, soft ground form. Sean on board again. I thought there was enough to like about him.
We got the Catboy then at Cheltenham. Right then, before we move on to look at a couple of contests at Wetherby, we've got loads of special offers for you this week at Cheltenham. We've got a special to opt in this, by the way, online. If you bet 10, you get a £5 free bet on the next race at Cheltenham. Obviously, T's and C's do apply. Minimum price applies as well. But bet 10 and get a free £5 for the next race at Cheltenham. It's one of many offers for the November meeting this weekend. We've got a couple of races at Wetherby to look at as well. I must say, like and subscribe as well. Couldn't hold off for that. Like and subscribe. You can not only get to know the Punters Guide, of course, we've got the road to Cheltenham every single Monday, building up to those 4 days in March. A couple of races at Wetherby as well from the ITV cameras, and I was quite surprised when I looked at this 310. I thought they'd shuffle the card a little bit, but no, we're going to take in this introductory hurdle. Gavin Sheehan and Jamie Snowden had a good start to the season, and they have the favoured in Fresh Perspective, Frankie.
Yeah, they do. And I've been lucky enough to go in twice. And this doesn't mean that he's not a good horse, but that's one that I seem to miss, or he didn't get a mention for whatever reason. But yeah, he was impressive last time out, wasn't he? Ed Bethel with an interesting runner, I thought. Minstrel Knight. A race, I'm not saying this is a bad quality race by any means. These would be decent horses, but one that's rated 86 on the flat for Ed Bethel, coming into an introductory hurdle. I think he hasn't been given the respect he deserves. I know those at the top of the market have won over obstacles and proven they can do it, but they've got a £5 penalty for it. So, you know, I don't think an 86 mark on the flat is too bad at all. And if he does take to his jumps, I'd definitely give him a chance. So, yeah, Brian Hughes and Ed Bethel up at Wetherby for me with Minstrel Knight.
Yeah, he had a decent stay on the flat. I think he had a couple of runnings of that Phil Buster, and he was third at Bangor early on the week as well. But yeah, he's a decent stay, and I think it doesn't mind the deep ground either if Wetherby gets some of this rain that's coming, if it reaches there in time. Joel?
Kuros. This was interesting for me. And you look at it, and normally you wouldn't get an eye-catching booking like Mr. W or PW Mullins, or Paddy Mullins coming over. But I don't know if it's part of the thing where he doesn't want to ride at every race course or whatever it is.
He's done Wetherby.
Yeah, that's what he's done Wetherby, but you know, he is the assistant trainer to Willie. He's running the yard when Willie's not there. Why would you be coming over to Wetherby to do this? You've got a load of work at home, unless it's really fancied or something, or the owners want it. I have no idea. Yeah. But that was interesting to me, and the market has spoken, and one from one. But Fresh Perspective, Jamie Snowden and Gorgeous Gav have just started to a flyer. What are they at? 48-50% in the last couple of weeks. They are absolutely flying, and I'm sure they will tail off at some point. But there's certain stables that you look at this time of year, the ones that pop out the lids flying, and that's one of them. And the money's spoken. So with a bit of interest on Kuros, but Fresh Perspective just for stable form, jockeying stable form, absolutely flying. A lot shorter than I thought it would be there, around 13-8.
Yeah, didn't he go to Ellen Road last year? I was just having a look, if you heard me typing at Leeds fixtures, but they haven't got a game this weekend. But I'm sure he rode a winner at Wetherby and went to Ellen Road this time last year. Yeah,
it's international weekend, isn't it? Don't know. Maybe he's gone to watch Harrogate instead.
That'll be a bad weekend, getting beat at Wetherby and watching Harrogate.
Hey, Harrogate's lovely. Harrogate's I bet you don't even know where Harrogate is, do you? Harrogate's lovely.
I do. Yeah, I've got family that live in Harrogate.
Oh, have you? Well, but do they live in Harrogate or Harrogate? Because Harrogate's the place where me and Matt live, and Harrogate is the nice place where your family live.
I've no idea, but it's not going to help Punters find the winner, is it?
No. Betty's Tea Rooms, that's what I know about Harrogate.
Yeah.
It's interesting Paddy Moynes coming over because obviously Willie's got a few runners at Navan as well, which we'll come on to shortly. But the Lucky Last at Wetherby, 3:43, 2.5 mile handicap chase. This is a bit more wide open, Frankie.
Yes, it is. And I am going to take a punt on Primoz. I don't know how you're actually saying that. Jumping's the name of the game. And, you always want to be siding with horses that can jump well. This one can't really, but I'm just hoping that Derek Fox can pull it together. I mean, he's been beaten at odds on the last twice, and that has been because he's thrown in a howler, but he has got a victory to his name. That also came on soft ground and under Dr. Fox up at Calso, and they're obviously persevering with him over fences. He must show way more at home because he keeps going off at short price, and he's obviously well handicapped. The caveat is, will he get a clean run round? He has also won at Wetherby around this time of year earlier in his career over fences, so it can be done. He can get round, but he'll be a nervy watch. But because of that, you are getting a price. He's been beaten the last twice, and I guess punters have probably given up on him a touch because if you're backing him at 4-6 and he throws in a howler, you won't give him too many more chances. I'm giving him one more.
Yeah, they had Derry Hass and Paddy jump like a snooker table earlier in the week, didn't they? Don't know who's schooling them. Joel?
Yeah, I completely agree. 4-6, 6-4, both times beaten last time. I think Lucinda has told Scoo to just shut that up because he's like, when we get to one, he has to talk about it. He's put this horse up a few times. It should run well today, blah, 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 the whatever, and then gets stuffed. But as Frankie says, if Dr. Fox can get it together, I can't see it being out of 3. Dead 8 runners, and 11-2 is your dirty account closer each way bet, and just hoping that it wins.
All right, before we talk Sunday's action, let's just have a look at the Great Ward. Just Frankie, Protector at runs, obviously, the 255. He's already a pipe opener up in the Charlie. What was Jed having to say? In fact, no, he missed the Charlie Hall, didn't he, on account of the ground? What's he had to say in his return here?
Yeah, no, it was just I caught him briefly and we were chatting. I said, "What have you got?" And he was running through them, and it was more just his enthusiasm for them. I didn't dive any deeper in terms of, what's the season plans and where he's going. But they always have a strong team. We were reminiscing on last year when they were out in Bahrain and they were cheering. I think Loda Sub won, didn't he? Maybe another winner. They had a brilliant weekend. So we were kind of chatting in the same frame of, is this going to be another weekend in Bahrain when all your horses do well? And he was pinning his hopes on Protectorat. So I think that was, where the confidence came from that camp.
Yeah, load of Sud and Il Redoto and Spirit Dancer over there. I don't think I'm going to run in Bahrain this weekend.
There was definitely 4. There was 4. I can't remember what else came, but it was all 4. But no, he's not here. No, they've got no runner. No. He didn't win. No runner. No. Just enjoying the Bahrain sunshine.
All right, let's talk the Great Wood then, and I know what Joel's going to go.
Do you think I'm going Celtic Dino? Is that what you think?
Well, you're asking for a price of the champion hurdle on the WhatsApp earlier on this week.
Yeah, nice of you to get back to me on that one.
Jesus.
Yeah, I think the lack of a price told the story.
Yeah, I know, but they're dropping like flies, aren't they? I mean, Constitution Hill is even never going to see the horse again.
He's going to the new Brigade this morning. Hang
on. Nicky Henderson just faxed me. Yeah, he's still got 4 legs. That's great. And had a carrot last night. He's ready to run. No, in all seriousness, Celtic Dino I like. Right, there's a few in here. At the minute, is Knickerbocker Glory got a jockey booked up for Dan Skelton?
Well, I think Harry's on the favourite, is he? No, nothing.
Yeah. John Freddie Keithley,
right.
Sorry. I should say.
I was we had a touch with this a couple of years ago, didn't we? Put it up, and I think it was like 16-20 to 1 and went from the front. I think that'd be the same thing here, with something that I wouldn't massively have a strong opinion on. You've taken me win now with Celtic Dino, but no, Knickerbocker Glory. I was looking for a young kid on there, claiming, and Knickerbocker Glory. Try and make all. That's what I would go for. But you're getting a price for Skelton Yard having the shocker at Bangor, and Harry not choosing it. So Knickerbocker Glory, and you are going to get enhanced terms and everything there. So Knickerbocker Glory from the front
to finish second, Celtic Dino.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have the reverse forecast. You're top.
Has there been many dual winners of the Greatwood? Or any?
No, nothing rings a bell. I remember Rooster Booster winning Detroit City. I don't remember them coming back.
So the grey ones with yellow colours, that's what you can remember, yeah?
Yeah.
I think he'll have a good chance of doing it, I know he won it off of 126 last year, so handicap and ratings-wise, it's a tough ask off of 139, but developed a lot. He didn't take to his fences, and then he finished out at the back of the telly in February and April, and maybe they just decided that, you know what, next year we'll go back over hurdles, and we need that mark to come down from 144 as low as we can, and we'll start the season again for a handicap hurdle campaign. He goes off a 139. He likes soft ground, goes well here. I'll give him a chance. Give him a decent chance.
No.
I mean, yeah, it's not very conventional, is it? Because you win this and then you crack on with handicaps for the rest of the year. These are all the unexposed ones, so it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But his handicap hurdle mark has come down for being beaten however many lengths the last 2 times. He's come down £5, and between that blip and when he won this at the start of last season, he obviously did develop as a racehorse as a whole. So I don't think it's mental.
Is this the race we're going to be looking at? This race for the next 10, 12
I hope
weeks?
so. But it doesn't strike me as that. I mean, the fact that we've got a couple in here that were, sort of last year's horses we were talking about, like Knickerbocker Glory, and obviously Rebecca Ward won this. Caldina we talked about as well. I'm not getting excited about as many that are sort of unexposed as I seem to be this time last year, but we'll find out.
All right, just quickly then, let's touch on the Irish action. The Yellow Clay, I'll start with you, Joel. I know you love this horse running the 210.
Yeah, I mean, I've been raving about this horse last couple of years. I'm not sure the horse is as good as everyone expected it to be, but this should just be a point and shoot if we are fit and ready to go. But very short price. But the thing is, I can't see anything to take the horse on with. Maybe Mozzie's sister to fill the frame, but Yellow Clay should turn up. Put a line through the fall last time. and then the old racing cliche, put a line through that one like you would do. I mean, has he been married before? Yeah, he's still married. Just put a line through that. Yellow Clay should just go ahead, take this, and then let's find out how good Yellow Clay is later this season.
And then, Frankie, we've got Marine National going over fence in the 4 trio, but taking on Dino Blue, old mate Captain Guinness, found a 50. He'll have it all his own way in his first start of the season.
I don't think he will.
No.
I quite fancy it. I wish there was 8 runners in this. But Marine National, first start, Barry Connell likes to mind them. It's all about Cheltenham. And you look at his form, he's a sort of spring horse. I can't say the same about Dino Blue. She comes into her own sort of after a couple of starts, and Cheltenham will very much be on the agenda for her, as it has been the last 2 or 3 seasons. Captain Guinness was pulled up in this last year. He makes his first start and then found a 50, is match fit, won this race last year. Ground conditions will suit him. I think he's a right bet. I just would like one extra place, please. But I think you can take on the top 3. I'm not saying that Founder 50 is the best horse in the race, but I am saying that this could be the race for him to try and poach. I think it's a good bet. I think it's a good price.
And then both of you, we'll talk about quickly the Arkle favourite, Kopek de Board's making his chasing a debut. Obviously impressive at Cheltenham. Didn't quite work out at Punchestown, Frankie.
No, you're not going to back him at his price, are you, really? That'd be brave. But hopefully, we'll see. But hopefully we can enjoy watching and get excited about for the rest of the season when he takes on a more competitive field. I think the next best rated in the field over hurdles was the second favourite, who's, I think, rated 146. He's obviously miles clear of that. So we'll see how he takes to them. But yeah, it's one to hopefully watch and enjoy, and then start thinking about who he's going to take on in the rest of the novice chasing division, isn't it?
Joel?
Yeah, I think that Twister's going to meltdown, and it was a 1, 2, 3, 4, wasn't it, for Willie Mullins at Punchestown, and the outside of those 4-1 in the JP colours. They knew, and you're like, it don't really work like that when it comes to something like Kopek de Board. There's so many people who are so excited about this horse. I'm one of them as well. Twice now in this show, put a line through that last run. I think this is a very special horse, and I hate to build him up because they always said it's Constitution Hill. But go back the board this weekend. It'll be one to watch, and let's just hope it's as good, a bit like the Yellow Clay that we're hoping.
Okay, give us your best bet, Joel Ross, for this weekend.
I will say the 220 at Cheltenham, because remember your fellow in the comments said I do like it when you give the timeout as opposed to the race name. So 220 at Cheltenham, and it's also in memory of Edward O'Grady this weekend as well, which is nice. Vincenzo for Saturday Sam and Dylan Johnson.
Frankie, best bet?
We can't have a best bet in the same race, can we?
Go on.
No. I'm going to go. A lot of people say this is Rogue because it's so competitive, but I really do think Founder 50 will run a massive race at Navan in the
245 Navan.
245. Yeah. Well, I just think he's way too big a price. I could also have Scoutons in the 3 mile hurdle at Cheltenham, but no, Fan 50's too big a price for me. I think he'll run a big race.
Oh yeah, Superior West, I know you quite like as well. In that to 255. Cheers, boys. There's going to be a deluge. It's going to be tough going for the runs at Cheltenham at the November meeting because Storm Claudia is going to see to that. But best of luck wherever you're backing. Don't forget, like, subscribe. Not only the Punters Guide, we've got the road to Cheltenham on Monday as well. Yes, Frankie, you may speak or go to the toilet, whichever it is you like to do.
I got my hand up for those that can't see us. Royal champion for Carl Burke in the Bahrain International Trophy. He'll go off favourite, but good bit of confidence behind him.
There we are then. Yes, that's why Frankie's over in Bahrain. But he'll be at Cheltenham on Sunday, all being well, if the planes play ball. Wherever you're back in, for God's sake.
What's the weather like out there, Frankie? Bit cloudy.
You stopped us for that. Right, that'll do, won't it?
Right, yeah. More of the same. Road to Cheltenham Monday. We'll dissect everything we see over the weekend. We'll see you then.